Welcome to the wild city of Anchorage. This unique Arctic metropolis is home to wild wolf packs, hundreds of bears, and over 2,000 moose. Like most urban jungles, this is a city plagued by thieves, trespassers, and petty crime. But here in Anchorage, the culprits aren't human. They are wild animals, including one of Alaska's most secretive and efficient predators. Lynx are usually highly elusive. But in Anchorage, houses are being built in the lynx's territory, forcing these usually shy big cats to find new ways to survive on the streets. In this wild city, can people live side by side with Alaska's deadliest big cat? During the long winter, Alaska is a frozen wilderness. In the far north, temperatures have been recorded lower than -60 degrees Celsius. But despite the harsh climate and inhospitable terrain, Alaska is home to some extraordinary wildlife. It is even home to a species of big cat tough enough to survive in these Arctic conditions. The Canadian lynx. In the deep snow of Alaska's frozen forests, lynx are powerful, efficient hunters, capable of taking down a deer. Found right across the world's Arctic forests, they are perfectly adapted for life in this terrain. Oversized paws spread their weight, making them almost silent when stalking, a key advantage over all other ground predators. Their excellent eyesight can spot a mouse from 100 meters. But this female has her favorite prey directly in her sights. Over snowy ground, this hare is almost as quick as the lynx. So choosing the perfect moment to attack is vital. But in their battle of speed, today, they'll face competition from another predator, poised high on the hillside. This golden eagle's vision is 8 times as powerful as a human. And even from a kilometer away, it has its eyes on the same prize as the lynx. The presence of the eagle forces the lynx into an early attack. The lynx may be closer, but she knows the eagle is capable of speeds of up to 250 kilometers an hour. This time, it's the lynx that triumphs. During winter, lynx survive almost entirely on a diet of snowshoe hares. And when Alaska's hare population increases, so does the number of lynx born the following year. Like most animals, Alaska's wild lynx usually prefer to stay well away from humans. But as the city of Anchorage continues to expand, new houses are being built in the lynx's domain. And being highly territorial, any lynx that live here are unable to move to new hunting grounds or face being killed by other lynx. So here in the suburbs of Anchorage, the usually elusive lynx is being forced to adapt by hunting in people's backyards. Their incredible senses may work just as well here in the city. But in order to get close enough to catch their prey, lynx must also rely on camouflage. In this urban environment, however, it's much easier for their prey to see them coming. Unable to hunt as effectively in the city, sometimes Anchorage's urban lynx are forced to take risks and stray too close to people. The Alaska Zoo provides a sanctuary for any injured or orphaned lynx found in the city of Anchorage. Senior keeper Beth has hand-raised one of these lynx since he was a kitten.
We have 2 lynx at the zoo. Our older male, Tony, was an orphan that was found within the Anchorage Bowl area by a local biologist who was actually out doing some work.
The biologist noticed a kitten had become separated from its mother.
He heard the kitten crying on the side of the road. He noted the location and he left it because, you know, mom could be coming back anytime. He was in that area doing work for about 3 to 4 days. Every day that kitten was in the same area. On the 3rd day, he actually picked up Tony and took him back to the office.
The frail kitten was brought into the zoo for examination.
Tony came to us very, very small. He was probably less than a pound. He was riddled with internal parasites and very dehydrated. We did not think he was going to survive. He was a pretty pitiful little case. But with lots of good veterinary care, good hands-on care and nourishment, he actually thrived. And he's quite a robust individual right now.
Tony is now a fully grown predator, weighing 15 kilos. So Beth must be careful entering the pen.
We don't try to turn them again into pets, so they keep their wild behaviors. So we do have to be careful with how we handle them or how we approach them. And we always need to remember that these animals are wild and every animal has a different personality. Their behaviors can change from day to day, from hour to hour. And we just need to be super aware before we actually go in with them.
Having raised Tony since a kitten, he has no fear of humans. So Beth knows she must be extra careful when working alone.
Lynx don't hunt people. We're too big of a target for them, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't lash out. They have very sharp, retractable claws and, of course, very sharp teeth, and they have the ability to jump extremely high. Those are all things to watch. So if you're working with them, you need to always know where they are because they're going to try to come up behind you maybe or from up above. So you always need to have your eyes on the cat because they can move so quick that you'll never even know that they're behind you or on top of you before it even happens.
While Beth works hard to maintain Tony's wild instincts, she also knows that he's never learned to hunt and so would be unable to survive in Alaska's harsh environment.
Obviously, we would all want these animals to be back out in the wild. The problem is sometimes you can't release them, because again, they require so much care that they couldn't fend for themselves in the wild.
Now endangered in many parts of the world, Beth hopes that Tony and his partner Julie might soon be producing kittens. They might be scarce in some places, but in Anchorage, there appears to be many more lynx on the prowl. Less than a mile from the zoo, there have been increasing reports of lynx tracks being found in the snow on people's property. But how are these wild predators surviving in the city? Some believe it's the rapid increase in people keeping and feeding pets outdoors. In particular, chickens. Often kept outside in enclosed spaces, it's like serving the chickens to a lynx on a plate. But it isn't just lynx. Right across Anchorage, urban wildlife is causing havoc. Just 100 years ago, this city didn't exist. And the animals that lived here have been forced to adapt. Drawn in by the abundance of easy food sources, people and North America's most dangerous animals are coming face to face. In fact, there's so many wild animals on the city streets. Anchorage police now have dedicated wildlife troopers, armed and ready to step in and protect the animals that call Anchorage home. But as this urban jungle continues to expand into the wilderness, encounters between people and animals are on the rise. And when it comes to dealing with dangerous animals on your property, there's only one man to call.
One of the unique properties of Alaska and Anchorage is that it's very much the way it was hundreds of years ago. I mean, obviously there's buildings here now, there's homes that are built in prime wildlife habitat, but the species that were here seem to adapt fairly well to their changes. To be able to live in an area where it's very, very possible to encounter some of these wilderness species, sometimes on the outskirts of the city, and sometimes you'll see them right in the middle of the city. Makes it one of the draws to live here.
But when Anchorage's spectacular wildlife continues to stray too close for comfort, Rob is called into action.
Occasionally there's confrontations, there may be issues where especially the larger species are creating a legitimate hazard.
Today, Rob is investigating the suspicious tracks that the owner believes may come from a lynx.
We'll just conduct an investigation. We'll do a perimeter search of the home. We'll look for perhaps an entry point. We always try to identify an attraction that may be drawing the animals in. And if we can modify that or perhaps eliminate it, then that's really our goal.
Although no attacks have taken place, the tracks are getting closer and closer to the house, and the owner is concerned about her pets.
It's a little bit unusual to have a lynx come in repeatedly around a home, but again, if there's an attraction that it's become habituated to, then like any other species, it'll take advantage of that opportunity and continue coming back.
From his initial search, Rob thinks it's not the pets the lynx may be after. He thinks they're hunting other wild animals attracted here by the bird seed.
Many homeowners here, they like to feed the birds, they like to draw in certain species of wildlife, and as a result, the snowshoe hares and squirrels, other small rodents have come into this area to feed, And the lynx have learned that this can be a constant source of food for them.
Rob is certain that it's the birdseed attracting the lynx's wild prey into the suburbs, but decides to try and gather some concrete evidence.
It's ideal habitat for a lynx to be living here. They like the heavy cover. They like to have places where they can hide and you know, ambush their prey. In spite of the many homes that were built essentially in the lynx backyard, this particular animal has become habituated to those homes.
Rob will check the camera in a few days to see if the lynx has returned, but suggests removing the bird feeder to keep the rabbits, and therefore the lynx, away from their pets.
Property owners are going to have to make some changes in order to avoid the confrontations with wildlife.
While Rob tries to keep humans and animals apart. Sadly, in the mountains outside of Anchorage, wild lynx are hunted for their fur using traps. The lynx's fur has adapted to keep it warm during the Arctic winter, when daytime temperatures regularly drop below -50 degrees Celsius. But lynx are most active after sundown. And as the warmth from this Arctic sun slowly disappears, the temperature drops even further. To prevent frostbite when hunting in this bitter cold, this lynx's paws and ears are also covered in fur. But the tufts on its ears aren't just for warmth. They improve its hearing, helping to detect the slightest sound from any prey hiding beneath the snow. Its fur may help insulate it from Alaska's extreme climate. But it must keep moving to generate enough body heat to survive. So if a lynx becomes caught in a hunter's trap, not even its fur can protect it from this extraordinary cold. At the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, they have a wild lynx that was brought in with severe frostbite. Usually, lynx keeper Sarah will rehabilitate and release any injured wild lynx. But China's injuries were too severe.
Unfortunately, she got caught in a trapper's snare. And unfortunately, when they found her, she had severe frostbite. That's why she didn't have any ear tufts. So those kind of came off. And then she's actually missing 3 different toes off of 3 different feet. And all those things kind of put together just kind of deemed her unreleasable. So that's why the rest of her life she'll be here at the Wildlife Center.
Unable to hunt, she was given a permanent home here at the sanctuary that she shares with another female lynx, Venetai.
So we have 2 gals in the same pen together, which has its moments, pretty interesting. Venetai is definitely queen bee. She kind of rules the whole downstairs, and then China kind of gets the upstairs. They got to work around each other a little bit.
Now 11 years old, Venetai also arrived here after a brush with death and can't be released.
Venetai came to us back in 2004. She was rescued from a forest fire by a bunch of firefighters, and unfortunately her brother didn't make it through the injuries. Venetai came in, she was a kitten, she's very young, so we had to hand raise her, and all that human interaction is pretty unfair to expect an animal to be able to handle life out in the wild, especially the Alaskan wild.
But although she was hand-reared, Venetai has maintained a very wild nature. And it's only recently Sarah has attempted to train her.
Here at the Wildlife Center, we've started this last probably 6 to 8 months, we introduced an operant conditioning training program so we can do veterinary care.
Today, Sarah's attempting to use the game to get Venatai to stand on the scales, to get an accurate weight for the 11-year-old Lynx. But playing cat and mouse with Venatai is easier said than done.
It's also a huge form of enrichment for a lot of the animals, in particular the carnivores. It gets their brains thinking.
Although Sarah knows she must be patient when working with wild animals.
It's not natural for them to want to hang out with people, and it's not natural for them to want to work with us every day. As animal caretakers, we want to try and make their lives the best that we can while they're in captivity, so it's all positive reinforcement. There's no negative. The animal chooses to participate with us. If they don't feel like working with us today, then we just kind of carry on. They still get fed. They still can carry on with their day. But sometimes when they're really engaged with us and they want to work with us that day, then it's wonderful because we can get all these behaviors worked out.
Eventually, Sarah's patience pays off. And she records Venatai's weight without resorting to anesthetic.
Big girl.
It's over a week since Rob installed the camera trap. And he's now back to see if the lynx is still hunting in this area. But it seems removing the bird feeder has done the trick. Rob may not have footage of any lynx, but dozens of hungry moose have been wandering through the area. And Rob's been told that one young moose has been hit by a truck. He's also had a tip-off from the state troopers that a local resident has a dead moose in their garden that needs removing.
The impact did not kill the animal right away, and so it wandered off and died at a later time. When a moose dies on their personal property or on private property, it's the homeowner's responsibility to deal with it. And many times, you know, these animals can be quite large, well over 1,000 pounds, sometimes 1,500 pounds. So they're faced with a rather large dilemma, and that's where we can come in and offer our assistance.
And having witnessed so many animal deaths caused by road traffic accidents, Rob now does his own forensics.
This is a female calf, and now I'm just trying to manipulate the limbs a little bit to see if there's a break. And the state troopers have probably already done that. I'd like to double check. Vehicle collisions with moose are relatively common here. These animals like to get out on the roadways. They may be after the salt that's on the roads, and that may very well be what caused the death of this moose.
Dealing with dead moose is sad, but at this time of year, with bears around, it's also dangerous.
During the spring, these animals are very hungry. They've come out of hibernation. Their goal is to find a food source. When we come into a situation where we're removing a winter kill moose, anytime during the spring, summer, or fall, we will be armed. We'll be prepared for any potential confrontations.
And it isn't just bears. Rob needs to be on the lookout in case the mother comes looking for her calf.
If the cow, the mother of the moose, is still in the area, even when the calf is dead, she'll still have that protective motherly instinct, and she'll stay in the area, oftentimes very close to the calf, and she'll be quite protective of the calf and actually act aggressively towards anybody that comes near the animal.
For Rob, any animal death is tragic. But in Alaska's wild city, nothing goes to waste. Rob takes any roadkill to the city's animal sanctuaries, enabling Anchorage's wild-born predators like bears, wolves, and lynx to eat just as they would in their natural habitats.